Just recorded this video, realized my mic was muted. Classic. So let's go ahead and try this again. So last time in the first video, I posed the question of, is it possible to calculate a profitable crypto strategy? And the answer, it turns out, is yes, you can. So let's go back to what I mentioned in the first video, January 1st. So I started January 1st, and I went all the way up to today, which is August 7th. And I came up with, it's kind of like a hybrid. The risk to reward ratio changes, but the strategy doesn't change. So, and there's only two risk to reward ratios, but let's go through some of it. So the entries are, when the super trend buy number, if you see in the top left, the number is 331.64. If that number is below the 200 EMA and the closing price is above the 200 EMA, go long and do 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So you can see that's what I did here. And then on the short, it's the opposite. So let me find a short really quick. As you can see here, the number on the top left is 462.99. So that number is above the 200 EMA, and we're getting a sell signal, and the closing price is below the 200 EMA. So we're gonna go short there with 3 to 1. Now there's a couple scenarios where I made some slight adjustments. So one of them is if, let's say let me just find one of the scenarios. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the 1.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So we can see that we get our buy below the 200 EMA, and the closing price is just above the 200 EMA. So our bot's going to pick that up as a buy. But I also, so on this one, on a lot of scenarios like this, I noticed that 3 to 1 wasn't good and 1.5 to 1 is good here. This one ended up winning. So the reason, so in this scenario, if the indicator, regardless of whether it's buy or sell, is above or below, if the candle crosses the 200 EMA, you're going to just do a risk to reward of 1.5 to 1. And for the stop loss, you're going to go, so our entries on this candle right here, and you're going to go to the swing low, and then you just go 1.5 to 1. Same thing here, our entry candles here. You're going to you go to the swing low before the indicator happens, so this one. So swing low here, 3 to 1. Oh, there's another scenario where if you're in the process of a trade, like this one, so I'm in the process of a short, the number is above, the super trend number is above, and the closing price is below. So that signals for our bot to sell. And what ended up happening was the indicator changed before we either got stopped out or we took profit. So in those cases, I'm going to tell the bot to just go ahead and exit the trade immediately as soon as you get this switch indicator. So that'll allow us to just have one trade going at a time. We don't have to worry about, trades overlapping and trends interacting with each other. So for this one we took, and it also helps you take small wins. So this one was a small win. If you look, it obviously would have eventually lost. So it helps in a few ways. So those are the different scenarios. Here's another one of the 1.5s to 1s because it's crossing. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. And I wasn't sure if the indicator happens on this candle or if it's on this candle. So I went with worst case scenario and made it to where our bot would enter here, which I think is correct. Yeah, because I went back and I played the, you can do like a replay function, and what happens is this comes up at the close of this candle. So our entry would be here. So you just go to the next candle, and that's where your entry is. So let's take a look at some of the results from this strategy that I came up with. I still think there's a lot more room for improvement. I want to get the bot going though first, get a proof of concept, get a proof of work going, so that I can make sure that it works first, and then I'll really start getting into some crazy customizations in some of this stuff. And before I look at the results, how we're going to do the bot is we're going to use a webhook. So in TradingView, we go to alerts. Yeah, you can create an alert. So our alert's going to be, we're going to create an alert, and it's going to be when super trend direction change. And so we're going to webhook that in to our API. So that's how we're going to get the bot going, because let's look at the results first, and then we'll come back to this. But so here's the results. I went through manually and added all this stuff. We got, let's see, 35 trades total in 8 months, which isn't a lot. Like I said, I still see room for improvement, room for more trades without messing with the current strategy, and so I might go back, but I wanna get the bot going first. But I just put whether it was a win or a loss, a short or a long, what our entry price was, what our exit price was, our risk to reward ratio, profit loss, and then a big part of this was the gas fees, or the fee to make a trade. So after going through some of the paper trading, I realized that there is a fee for the entry and a fee for the exit. So when you enter a trade, you're going to be charged, for TradingView, I think it's 0.003. You're going to be charged 0.003% of the entry cost. So you get charged that, and then when you close out, you also get charged for the closing cost. So those are all built in here to my spreadsheet and show what the profit would be if the percentage is this. I made it this customizable so that you can change it, and you'll see the effects of that here shortly. But so this spreadsheet is if you're buying one coin. So I think at the time it was $3.55. You just buy one coin. Boom, after the first trade closes, you're up $39. Second time it triggers, the coin's at $4.50. Now you're up 107. And then you got some losses here, going back down, some wins. Eventually, after 8 months, you get to, we have a profit of $4.64, which isn't great. It's not going to do anything for us. I mean, it is, if I can make this bot work, it's $500 of passive income, but it's for 8 months. I mean, that's just not anything special. So I'm going to be looking for lower fees, and I'm hoping that we can get a 0 fee, which I'm not sure if that's possible yet, but we'll see. So if we have a 0 fee, it goes up to $600. But where the real money starts coming in is if you have the capital. I think one of my buddies is going to invest in this. Let's say he buys this much amount on day 1. So after our first trade, we're up this amount, and so on. Same idea. So this is after 8 months, which is a lot more significant. So, but let's look at 0. Well, let's look at 0.002. Okay, so yeah, 10,000. Because if you look at the fees, just the fees alone, for 8 months, it's like $2,400 bucks, which is insane. So gonna look at the fees. The next part of this is that I have to test this against another coin, because I want to make sure that it wasn't a fluke. I might even do a third coin. But yeah, back to this. So create an alert. The alert goes off to our web API through the webhook, and I'm hoping we'll be able to send some of these variables. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to figure out another third party to get those variables, figure out how this was made. But yeah, so the reason, I mean, it's profitable, but you can't sit here 24 hours a day and wait for this indicator to happen, because, I mean, what, 35 trades in 8 months, like it just doesn't happen very often. So the bot is the only way for this to work. You can't sit here non-stop and wait for this to trigger and immediately put in the trade. It's just not possible without a bot. So that's what the whole idea is, and once we get the bot working, we can start focusing more on these numbers, trying to get this to be better overall, and see if we can what we can do there. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back test another coin from January 1st. I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet, but it'll be in the next video. From January 1st to today, and see if this was a fluke or if this actually works. So I'm going to do the same strategy, same exact thing, just a different coin on the 1 hour time frame as well. So we'll see the results there, and I'll make another tab for that coin and make a video for that. So stay tuned.